Hello students, today our topic of discussion is plant hormones with more emphasis on gibberellin. So plant hormones, as we know, are also known as phytohormones, are signal molecules which are produced within the plants that occur in extremely low concentrations. Plant hormones usually controls all aspects of plant growth and development, like that of embryogenesis, regulation of organ size, pathogen defense, stress tolerance, etc. So here basically the plant hormones are divided into two types, the plant growth promoters and the growth inhibitors. So growth promoters usually means the kinds of hormones which usually promotes the growth, like maybe it can help in increasing the number of roots or increasing the nodal length or the size of the shoots. So these group of hormones are called as the growth promoters, and some of the examples are like here we can see are the auxin, cytokinin and gibberellin. And then there are certain groups of plant hormones which act as growth inhibitors, which represses the growth and does not allow them to grow, and basically they are of two types, like the ethylene and the abscisic acid. So here, as I had said about the growth promoters, so like the cytokinin here, as we can see, induces the growth of shoot, auxin promotes root initiation, gibberellin also stimulates cell elongation, and in the diagram below we can see that gibberellin is usually being denoted as Ga. So there is a mock plant, that means which is a normal plant or a plant under study, and then there are certain groups of plants to which the various forms of Ga or gibberellic acid is being, or gibberellin is being added, and various forms of growth can be seen, which usually proves that it stimulates cell elongation. Now in this particular table we can see that the hormones have been given, followed by their chemical formulas and the parts where they are synthesized, followed by their major functions. So like auxin usually helps in stimulating stem and root growth, promoting cell differentiation. Cytokinin also promotes root growth and differentiation, stimulates cell differentiation. Gibberellin also does the same, like promotes seed germination, bud growth, stem elongation and leaf growth. So here also certain functions of these hormones are being given here. Next, we would focus more upon gibberellin. So gibberellins are actually a group of plant hormones that regulate various developmental processes, including stem elongation, germination, dormancy, flowering, fruit development or the flower development, and also various other physiological processes. So if we see the structure of gibberellin, these are basically diterpenoid acids that are synthesized by the terpenoid pathway in plastids and then are modified in the endoplasmic reticulum and cytosol until they reach their biologically active forms. So there are various forms of bioactive GAs like GA1, GA3, GA4 and GA7. Here we can see in this particular picture that there is a man who is standing upon the stairs and seeing the plant length. So this is basically a huge length of the plant that we can see. So this kind of thing was seen basically in like from the plant pathology fields. It was being detected back in 1926, where this was referred as certain kind of disease. Till then, the occurrence of gibberellin was not known. So it was known as the Bakane or the foolish seedling disease, whereby it caused an excessive increase in the length of the plant, like more than 50% longer than the normal healthy plants. So below you can see that there are certain normal healthy plants which are there, followed by the actual length. So, the first inroads into understanding of GAs were developments from the plant pathology fields, where this particular observation was referred to as the bakane or the foolish seedling disease in rice. And it was in 1926 that there was a Japanese scientist, Kurosawa, who identified that this foolish seedling disease was caused by a fungus known as Gibberella fujikuroi. And the fungus is the perfect stage of Fusarium moniliform. Next, we would see the functions of gibberellin. The first function being the stem elongation. Like when gibberellin is being added, it usually causes an elongation in the length of the stems. Like here you can see two different structures or two different types of plants. One is the dwarf plant, which is a shorter in size, and then there is a potted plant which is elongated. So basically what happens is, like in the dwarf plants, they are like of the mutant type, where it has not been able to reach its normal length. But when plant hormone like gibberellin is being applied to it, it usually causes growth, increases its length, causes stem elongation. Therefore this gibberellin helps, stem elongation is one of the most important physiological functions of gibberellin. Here also you can see that in this picture, which is part A, there is an untreated mutant plant which remained as a dwarf. So there was no treatment to it, no kind of external hormones or gibberellin was added. So it stayed in its normal mutant type and formed a dwarf. But when this type of plant was being sprayed with gibberellin, so the next figure which you see in part A only, there's after 22 days of being sprayed with dilute gibberellin solution, this plant reached the size of a non-dwarf plant. So which basically shows that on application of gibberellin, the plant can reach its normal size. Next, we can see here that gibberellin usually helps in breaking the seed dormancy. So within the seed, gibberellins are involved in the natural process of breaking dormancy and other aspects of germination. And here we can see that before the photosynthetic apparatus develops sufficiently in the early stages of germination, the stored energy reserves of starch usually nourishes the seedling. Usually in germination, the breakdown of starch to glucose in endosperm begins shortly after the seed is exposed to the water. Now, what happens is that gibberellins in the seed's embryo are believed, or they rather send signal for hydrolysis of the starch by inducing the synthesis of the enzyme alpha amylase. So the starch gets broken down when this alpha amylase is synthesized in the aleuron cells, and what happens next is that the GA, or it is seen that the GA which is produced in the scutellum usually diffuses to that of the aleuron cells, where they stimulate the secretion of alpha amylase. Now alpha amylase then hydrolyzes the starch, which is abundant in many seeds, into glucose that can be rather used in cellular respiration to produce the energy for the seed embryo. This continuous breaking usually creates or breaks that dormancy and helps the seed to grow back into form a natural plant. In the next slide also, here you can see that in point 1, the gibberellins are usually synthesized by the embryo and released into the starchy endosperm. You can see the arrows that they have been released into the endosperm, then they diffuse to the aleuron layer, and once they diffuse to the aleuron layer cells are induced to synthesize and secrete alpha amylase and other hydrolases into the endosperm, and this entire process then again helps in contributing to this entire thing. Next here we can see that GA usually helps in fruit development. Now you can see that this person is holding two forms of grapes. One type where it is of the normal size, which is referred to as the untreated grapes, and the other type where grapes are treated with gibberellin. So here you can see that application of gibberellin usually causes or rather increases the size of the fruits to a huge extent. It also helps in the formation of parthenocarpic fruits. Parthenocarpic fruits refers to as the seedless fruits. So this application of gibberellin also results in the formation of parthenocarpic fruits. It helps in flowering, like in case of it stimulates bolting in long day plants and can substitute for long or cold treatments. Like here we can see that if you can follow that there is a dotted line which is in the center, which is actually marks the 12-hour period of the, or rather forms the midline of this entire 24-hour duration. So whenever when the light is more, it like depending upon the amount of light, it usually adjusts itself and causes and forms, like in case of short day plants, they usually require a little amount of light and more amount of darkness so they can form there. But in case of long day plants, as the name refers, higher the amount of light they receive, more it is effective for it to flower. And GA usually stimulates this bolting in long day plants. And there are certain other functions also of gibberellin, like maybe where it stimulates whereby it stimulates usually the induces the sex expression of the plants. So these are some of the physiological functions of gibberellin.